What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to the Winners Lounge. It's the CHGO Bulls Postgame Show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download their app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guys, Big Dave at BAWL Sports. Will the Goat Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Our pal producer Joey on the controls here in Studio B. He is at Joey Spathis.
Joey Gilligan.
Follow that man. Joey Gilligan! Looking good in that hat. We are CHGO_Bulls, and we are here to talk about the Bulls' second consecutive win.
Yes, we are.
119-111 over the Houston Rockets, who are real bad. The Bulls managed to not lose to them twice this season. So,
congrats.
Yay.
That's a good thing.
And who's excited with this win?
Come on, baby.
And some Wizards losses recently.
Come on.
The Bulls, by way of tiebreaker, jumped back into the 10th and final play-in spot with this win at 31-36.
Yes.
Should I try to be excited about that? Should I pretend to be excited about that? Or should I be honest?
You be you, sir. Be who you are.
Dumb. Dave, I know you're happy, though.
Damn right. Happy as hell. I'm happy with this win over the Rockets, man. First of all, the Rockets were on fire. On fire from the moment they stepped on the floor until the moment they left the floor. Well, not in that fourth quarter so much, but
yeah, the first three quarters.
First three quarters, they were completely on fire. In the fourth quarter, the game slows down. You have to have a half-court offense, and you've got to have a guy. They've got a bunch of guys who think they're the guy, and that's why you saw certain people like Tate and other people I had never heard of taking shots. like, I'm the man. Like, bro, no, if you don't give up that ball right now, there's somebody that we actually know. But, yeah, it was interesting, man, watching that. But I enjoyed the Bulls. They took their best shot the entire game. I mean, this is the game we saw get blown out.
Other than 2-0, the Bulls trailed that game until that last run in the fourth quarter.
I mean, we've seen them get blown out, you know what I'm saying, by this team like that, man. Like, the Bulls, they played their best game, and the Bulls still stuck with them the entire game until they took over. Patrick Beverley. What a game by Patrick Beverley, man. My goodness, 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists from your point guard. The dude's getting 10 rebounds, which is wild to me that he's getting that many rebounds at the size that he is. But it was great. Zach LaVine is just looking like a professional basketball player. I don't even know what else to say about him. He looks amazing.
It's not just professional. I mean, he's looking like a professional all-star.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if he would have been playing this way the whole year, like, you could be talking about in the race for an all-NBA team.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
He's out of control right now.
That's true. He has been amazing, man. I like the way he and DeMar kind of meshed, you know what I'm saying, in this game. You saw DeMar throw him a couple of oops, you know what I'm saying, which we ain't seen pretty much all season long.
Almost had another one. But
yeah, you almost saw 3 oops in the game. Like, when's the last time I could say that about a Chicago Bulls game? I can't tell you. But especially with Zach LaVine, my goodness, man. But you saw it, and it looked fun. And they just really played well off each other. Zach was dominant in his. DeMar did his thing and put in those points. Vooch started not great.
Rough start for Vooch, but he bounced back to have a respectable finish.
Yeah, that second half, he really picked it up. I believe he had 7 or 9 in that third quarter. He played really, really well for them to play 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists, which, again, guys, is not normal for a center to do. But I really like, and 4-7 from the 3-point line too. That was also huge. But the big thing, guys, was the 3-point shooting. The 3-point shooting of the Chicago Bulls.
They actually
did
it.
They did it, Will. They hit threes, man. I was confused.
I was confused too. They made 15 tonight, Haven't done that since February 15th, the second to last game before the All-Star break.
Okay.
Most of them came in the first half. They were 8 of 18 at halftime, which is obviously really good. But the Rockets, I think, were 9 of 16. So the Rockets, like you said, were just absolutely on fire. The Bulls were hanging around. And it did come down to composure. I think I said that a couple times while we were watching.
Because you were the go lead.
The Rockets just completely fell off a cliff there at the end. Like when their threes stopped falling, they just had no idea what to do. Mm-hmm. Şengün was like spinning into 4 guys and falling over. Jae'Sean Tate was like trying to put his shoulder into Drummond and then like airballing layups. I mean, it was ugly, but that's what happens when you're a really young and not so greatly coached and not so talented team.
Yeah, the Rockets are the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA as far as percentage, 32.7%. So when they came out of the gate like that, you're like, wait, hold on, what? And then you had the Bulls matching them with the Bulls. I mean, 32 attempts is above their season average. They're averaging 28, which is hilariously low. But yeah, like these teams combining to make 31 threes, with the Bulls being the lowest volume 3-point shooting team and the Rockets being the least efficient 3-point shooting team in the league, made no sense. But as you said, Will, the Rockets just could not execute down the stretch, which is something you expect from younger teams, more inexperienced teams. But this is the same team that we watched the Bulls get beat by on their home floor by double digits earlier this season. And it looked early on like it was going to be more of the same trouble, where the Rockets are one of those young teams that this Bulls team goes against, that plays fast, gets out in transition, and gives the Bulls fits. And they were playing from behind all night because of that. And the Rockets knocking down their threes. I guess credit to the Bulls for hanging around and finding a way to win that one down the stretch. Big buckets made by DeMar, by Zach, and getting some stops.
That hurt him to say. But
that's why I said I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But that's exactly what they did.
Good for you. You squeaked out a victory in a game that you trailed the whole damn time to a team with 15 wins in March.
Yeah, baby. And you got that victory and put yourself in the playoffs.
So impressed, Bulls.
Shout out to the
Chicago
Bulls.
So proud of you.
Excuse me.
There is a difference.
Thank you, Will, to go Gottlieb.
I'm going to hold you accountable.
Thank you, Will, to go Gottlieb. I appreciate that. But I do want to ask you this. I didn't know that until you said it to me. I didn't know that Steven Silas was not as liked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as coach, how do you feel about him as a coach? Because I don't watch a ton of Rockets basketball.
Fans really don't like him.
Yeah, and this is the first I'm hearing.
It's like
I don't watch it. So.
Passionate. It's passionate.
Well, you can.
But how do y'all
you can
feel
see
about
it
him,
when
though?
they play. There's no organization. There's no structure. It's roll the ball out and let the kids fight around for it.
Okay.
It's beyond that too. So Rockets fans specifically are very upset about how he's distributed the minutes amongst the young players. He was very playing like Dacian Nix and all these sort of interesting rotational guys. He was throwing out Usman Garuba for a long time, and people were upset that he wasn't playing Şengün more, that he wasn't playing Josh Christopher more, and because the team is so bad that he wasn't giving the young guys a ton of tick necessarily, and so people were kind of confused with that.
Because again, outside looking in, it just feels like there are a lot of young guys that should get some tick, or at least a chance, because they're not a good basketball team. Regardless of that, they're just not good. It just feels like he was just trying anything out, giving these young guys a chance, to do something.
Well, they also just don't have any veterans that can kind of guide these guys.
True.
Obviously, the Bulls are a really bad offensive team this year. They're 24th. They just scored 119 on them. They're not defending anybody either. I think it's just kind of like a dumpster fire top to bottom there in Houston. And they're really playing, I think, the game that you are, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are really opposed to, which is just a talent grab in the lottery. Do whatever you can to try to get high draft picks without any sort of organization behind it. And I think that is where you struggle. And hopefully some of these guys for them hit. We love Tari Eason. Jae'Sean Tate's a fine player. Kenyon Martin's a fine player. I'm very high on Jabari Smith, Şengün, obviously. And that's not even to mention probably their prized possession, Jalen Green. So they've got a ton of talent, but there's just no organization. And they don't run any offense. It's just throwing up threes. It's just taking turns. And then, the Bulls are getting out in transition. They're not really good at that. They're shooting a lot of threes. Bulls don't really do that. Getting to the rim at will. They they don't really they don't do anything on the defensive end.
Yeah, and I guess like you said, in that fourth quarter, it definitely comes to a head when you've got to have some kind of organization and structure.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're right. They definitely didn't have that. Everybody was just putting up shots. So yeah, I mean, this was news to me, guys. Thanks for schooling me on that, man. But yeah, it was news to me. I didn't know he was that hated.
Which is weird because, sort of like NBA royalty,
Yeah, with his father,
I
rest
guess
in
you
peace.
that doesn't necessarily mean, you're like, if you like, or if this person is a famous athlete / coach from a generation behind, that their offspring would be automatically well-liked because of that.
Right.
A lot of people also thought that this was specifically just not the right job for him. Like, he would have been better coming into a more established team and not like.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll get another chance, maybe somewhere where they're not mid-rebuild, and he's got to, right the ship with a bunch of young guys.
This year 2 for him?
He was not given any favors.
This year 2 for him?
I want to say year 2 or year 3.
Okay.
I think it's year 3 because I think he came in right when James Harden went nuclear.
Okay.
So he came in and James Harden was like, I'm not showing up to camp.
I do, yeah.
And everyone was kind of like, well, this guy's been dealt a
present,
pretty rough hand.
Okay. And then started eating
Sorry
snacks.
to interrupt. Go on.
No. Like, I appreciate your input on this, man. But yeah, man, a young team, no control, you know what I'm saying, no anything like that. The team that gets hot, but when it comes down to playing basketball, you've got to have that structure, and they didn't have that. Bulls definitely took advantage of that, especially with the steals they started getting in that fourth quarter. You saw that defense turn its head. Like I said, the Rockets were on fire to start this, man. But in that fourth quarter, when you had to pass the ball, they're like, what's a pass? And they were like, we shoot around here. And, yeah, it didn't work out for them, man. And the Bulls took advantage. DeMar DeRozan hit a key 3 to pretty much put that out of reach. But Caruso, who
you heard that right.
Yeah, you heard that right. Yeah, which is wild to say. Like, what's crazy is he hit a key 3. Patrick Beverly hit a key 3. You know what I'm saying?
One of his 3 makes on the night? Is that right?
Wild. Yeah, I believe, he was 4.
4?
4 of 5.
Beverly was 4 of 5. Well, say goodbye to that. Hope you enjoyed it because that's never happening again.
4 of 5 from the 3-point line while Zach was 3 of 8. That's wild, man. Like, that's wild. And Vooch, 4 of 7. But then DeMar going 2 of 3. Like, it was just all weird, you know what I'm saying, down there in Texas tonight. But Bulls came out with the weird W, baby. We got that W. I'm very happy about it. We can move on to the next. I enjoy it.
That was a dub.
That was a dub. Give me the dub.
And leading that dub, Zach LaVine with 36, continuing this heater he's been on for the last, certainly the last couple of weeks out of the All-Star break. He's been having these high point outcome games. We talked in one of our episodes early this week about how DeMar has sort of taken a little bit of a step back as far as being this team's number 1 option, and Zach has taken that mantle. Mm-hmm. Tonight was a continuation of that trend, Dave.
Correct. Absolutely right, man. And you saw it. You know what I mean? Like, you saw that order. And it's interesting because to start the season, maybe that's why it was so off between them, because there wasn't an order. And DeMar was still like, no, I'm the dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. And, of course, Zach being hurt at the same time, didn't help matters either. But now a fully healthy Zach and DeMar, who was dealing with a little bit of injury and missing free throws for, I don't know why. Why is he missing free throws? But he's doing those things. So strange, man. But he clearly looks like the number 2 guy. But it fits now because Zach is at the level where they thought Zach should be, which is being the guy. And he looks good being the guy right now. Now, of course, more things are going to come on that. As far as last-second shots, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to get that shot at the end? Those things will come. Those questions will come. But for the meantime, this looks correct. When DeMar is throwing oops over to Zach LaVine, that is the correct way to do it. That is how it's supposed to be done. And I really enjoyed the dynamic because even with that, DeMar had 2 blocks. You know what I mean? Like, he was doing something, you know what I'm saying, on both ends of the floor. We know he does offensively, but he's got to give you something on the other end. And, of course, Houston's not great. I'm not saying they're like, oh, my God, now he's a world beater defensively or something. No, but it was the fact that he contributed, you know what I'm saying, in that sense, and added to Caruso having those 3 steals and 2 blocks. That helps it out so much. And adding to Patrick Beverly getting 10 rebounds for you. So, yeah, man, he just really did it in addition to having 27 points on 9 of 21 shooting. So even being a second fiddle, he's still getting up 21 shots and got to the line. What was he at the line?
10 times.
10 times, man. Yeah. My God. Yeah, that's the classic DeMar stuff right there. So, yeah, man, he looked good, though, being the number 2.
I think we've talked a little bit about, like, coexisting and how those guys play off of one another. You mentioned with the transition stuff, they got to do more of that. I don't know why it's been a problem for them this year. They're pretty low in the league in terms of percent of their offense coming in transition, but that's when those guys make each other better. You saw the lobs, just creating easy points. I mean, we talked a ton about how much this team struggles to score. Yeah. That's the easy way to do it. And they've got to. I mean, if they're going to have games where, I mean, this was like a high 3-point game for them and they shot 32. Like, I think 28 teams shoot at least 32 threes a game. So like the vast majority, this was like a high 3-point shooting game for them.
Wow.
They need to find ways to create offense, transition, free throws. That's how they're going to do it. And Zach has to be going downhill in order for that to happen, but neither of them can really dominate the ball, I think, in a way that we've seen. This is a DeMar game. This is a Zach game. Like, they need to both be, it's just so much harder to guard that way.
Let me ask you something, because the 32 threes were awesome, but it just felt like none of them felt wrong to me. You understand what I mean? Like, none of those threes felt forced, or they just felt like the ball was moving, it wasn't sticking, and everybody gets their opportunity. Is that because of the team they were playing? Or it was just like, okay, well, this is just a style the Bulls are doing now because they figured something out, just as far as getting guys 3-point shots?
Yeah, so I would love to look at the numbers to make sure that I'm right about this, but it felt like they were getting downhill a little bit easier because of how poor the Rockets' point of attack defense was and the fact that they didn't really have anybody stepping over to protect the rim. I mean, we saw those lineups with Jabari Smith at the 5. Maybe that's something he can do later in his career, but like, he's not there yet. Yeah. And so the Bulls were just able to get downhill. When you do that, help has to come. Then you make the right pass and you can shoot threes, and then you got to actually take them. We saw Patrick Beverley shoot a couple. We both saw Patrick Williams take one that we're like, wow, he probably shouldn't have taken that because he was really contested. But like, they need to actually get those up. So it was a combination of drawing help at the rim, kicking it out, and actually shooting.
All right, we got to take our first break here during post game. When we come back, we'll get to some of y'all's comments and thoughts. Our guy AK talking about how the young guys all kind of had a rough night tonight. I did want to touch on that. We'll get to that and more. If you feel so inclined, throw some super chats. We'll get to those later on in the post game as well. And make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're watching along on YouTube, and make sure you are subscribed to CHGO Sports on the YouTubes. Tonight's DraftKings King of the Game goes to that man, Zach LaVine, who continues attacking, getting to the basket. Also hit some absolutely filthy step-back threes tonight on his way to a game-high 36 points. Also doing some work on the glass tonight, pulled down 8 defensive rebounds, 9 rebounds total, and dished out 5 assists. Dave, you were mentioning earlier how he and DeMar both had some slinging going on tonight, which was nice to see. Yeah. Another strong game from Zach LaVine, which is great to see. Whether you're a believer in Zach as a guy you want to see stick around this offseason and beyond, or if you're someone who says, hey, this Bulls unit, this collection of players doesn't seem to be working, maybe they look to trade Zach, maybe they revisit some offers that they got at the deadline and didn't pull the trigger on, because all Zach is doing with games like this is boosting his trade value. So either way, it's good news. You know what else is good news? Making money on that DraftKings Sportsbook app. And when you sign up using promo code CHGO, you will get to take advantage of that incredible offer of a $5 bet down to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you got those no-sweat same-game parlays for all the NBA action. Pick some points, some boards, some assists, whatever you want, overs and unders. Put it all into one big parlay. Boost those odds. And if it doesn't hit, no worries. You get a bonus bet back. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. And don't forget that promo code CHGO at sign up. Shout out to our DraftKings King of the Night, Zach LaVine.
Who scored the first bucket tonight?
Vooch did?
I know the Bulls led 2-0, and it was their only lead until the fourth.
That's true.
The first 2 possessions were to Vooch in the post.
They did go inside to Vooch. You're right.
You weren't here yet.
You ain't had that on Vooch, Joe?
No, I was watching Texas hoist the Big 12 championship trophy.
Talk that shit, Joe. Talk that, Joe. Talk about it.
Also, shout out Marquette. First ever Big East tourney championship.
Shout out to them, man.
Shout out to my guy, Mike Gonring. Big Marquette fan.
We are going to raise these right here to those teams right there, ladies and gentlemen. And you can raise one of these as well. Goose Island Beer Company. We talk about this Hawks right here all the time. We talk about this Hawks Pale Ale. It is absolutely
real good.
Amazing. What an amazing beer this is, man.
Shout out to our CHGO Hawks guys doing their post game over in Studio A. Got a big tank win tonight.
They did.
Happy for them.
3-1, man. They got one, man.
Didn't get mine. But
Shout out to them. But they are committed. Like Will said, they committed to their tank very early on in the season, man. They understood what they were going on. But they were enjoying these as well, and you can too. And many, many of the other awesome drinks that Goose Island has, man. The 312 Wheat Ale, the classic. Of course, that Bull City edition, that Bull City 312, that tall can that matches the 22-23 City edition uniforms. Of course, the Christmas IPA, the Beer Hug IPA series, the Green Line, and for all the fancy people out there, the Matilda. They got you covered, man. So, Goose Island, they got 2 locations where you can get some of this delicious beer. You can grab one from their innovation tanks at the Goose Island Tap Room at 1800 West Fulton, or get a smash burger and a fresh beer of the week from the original Clybourne Brew House at 1800 North Clybourne. For more reservations and pickup, go to gooseisland.com/slash locations. Goose Island Beer Company, the true taste of Chicago. Yes. And also, quick shout out to the Death. Because, y'all, the Death is back.
Death is back.
Death is back. Y'all know I'm excited because the Death is back. I got 2 drinks right here.
Dave, are you happier that the Bulls got the win tonight or that the fridge has been restocked with Liquid Death?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
So
then.
make me choose. No, I love the Death.
Joey with the Gilligan hat drop.
Shout out. What's that? What's the company?
Freshie.
Thank you.
I had to go swap out the small. I didn't realize there was different sizes.
Oh, they got different sizes.
For an X large.
Okay. For some reason, I can see you rocking that, man.
Well, there is a Bulls one of those lying around here, and it's sometimes in my stack of hats.
That's why. Okay.
I think I
Yeah,
look
he likes
silly
to
when I
throw
wear
it. It's a good. It
is a good Frisbee
his
hat.
ultimate Frisbee, his
Yeah.
disc golf form.
Yes, man. So maybe you got some new hats in case people don't pick those up.
No, he does.
You got a couple freshies.
I got a lot of hats. I don't know if I need any more.
Fair point. You always need more. You throw them all every single time. You always need more.
My friends were making fun of me last night. I had some
Okay.
friends over, and I had to clear my foosball table of its hats because I use my foosball table as a hat rack when I'm not using it as a foosball
Naturally.
table.
Correct.
So it's a foosball table that has like 25 hats on it.
Will is stupid.
I have something that I want to direct towards mostly Will and Matt.
Okay.
So as members of Team Tank, as we I think are no longer ashamed to share with the people. The one thing, and Will, I mean, I don't remember when you broke down and were just like, when it really hit you about how little hope there is just in the immediate future. But Zach LaVine's recent play is the one thing that is keeping the door open for me a little bit, where he is now starting to look again like that he could be a true, really good, like number 2, really number 1 scorer guy. Like this stretch of games is about as well as we've seen, and he's been phenomenal.
Indeed, he has been. I feel like at this point the Bulls are going to be. They are right now in the 10th seed. I think they'll probably finish there. I think there's about as likely a chance of them getting to 9th as there is of them finishing at 11. I know the standings are pretty tight right now, so it could be anywhere, but it just feels like they're trending that way. They're, I think, 4-3 or 5-3 since Patrick Beverley's arrival. They're playing better. I mean, you can see it. They've had some stinker losses, but for the most part, they are, I think, starting to reach the level of play that they would have hoped to be playing at, right? Like you're getting more out of Patrick Beverley than you maybe thought. Caruso looks really good. Zach's starting to play his best. Maybe DeRozan's not quite at his peak yet, but overall the level of play has been rising. I think if you go into a play-in tournament when you're playing at this level, you got to be feeling pretty good because some of these other teams are not running away with it. I mean, the Raptors were on a little streak there, but then they really tailed off. Yeah. The Wizards are wizarding. I mean, they're just the Wizards. Yeah. The Pacers have beat the Bulls a bunch of times, and that I think would be concerning, but it seems like only one of those 2 teams is going to get in. So who are you afraid of? I mean, Miami, they've beaten. Atlanta, they've beaten. none of these teams are really that scary to me.
Yeah. And I guess that's why they're in the position that they are. You know what I mean? Like, neither, I'm sure they don't feel the Bulls are either. You know what I mean? Or scary to them at all. But
absolutely not.
This is what the play-in
nor
is.
should they.
Yeah, or nor should they. Absolutely right. And this is what the play-in is about, man.
And you mentioned that record since Patrick Beverley's arrival, and Dave certainly had some fun with a couple of blowout wins right when Pat Bev got here. Shout out to our guy Kevin Anderson, who on Twitter earlier this afternoon had this stat about this Bulls 5-man lineup that now involves Patrick Beverley, DeRozan, Pat Bev, LaVine, Caruso, and Vooch. Billy's new starting lineup, save for that one game where he started Pat to guard KD, has now played 130 minutes together, and that was before tonight's game. That group has an offensive rating of 119.8, defensive rating of 95.7, net rating of plus 24.4. Among all NBA lineups with at least 100 minutes played this season, that net rating is first, and that defensive rating is third.
Damn. It's wild.
I don't want to believe that.
It's so wild. It's wild with a hat. Just because, again, we know all year what this team has been missing, and that's outside of three-point shooting, obviously, was a point guard.
Well, if Pat Bev's going to keep going 4 of 5, you can
right.
answer that question.
We good. We set. But it's been a point guard, and it just shows you what a halfway decent point guard can help you with on this team, and how better your team can actually look. Like, he's not world-beating point guard out here. There's a reason that he was let go. Like, it's not like that, but it's just slightly competent. You know what I'm saying? That slight competence, hitting open threes on occasion. You know what I'm saying?
That's the moral
getting in
of
the
year.
effort. You know what I'm saying? In there, like it's those things are key. You know what I mean? And the fact that the Bulls used to have a guy who was elevated super on that level shows you exactly where they were as far as that record was concerned when you had that kind of point guard there, man. So they were missing that. Patrick Beverley has been awesome for the team, man. I can't say enough about just how good he has been and picking and choosing his games. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, against his former team, because I remember you had said that, like, I didn't have that penciled in that Patrick Beverley was going to do something tonight. And again, it's against his former team. He has those things in his mind, who he plays, a little bit harder for, a little more focused for.
And like Rockets fans loved Pat Bev.
Correct.
They
absolutely right.
accepted him, made him their own, and he was talking shit to them tonight.
Right. Plenty of it and tons of it. So it just makes me more excited to watch when they play a team like the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to watch this game when they play the Lakers, dog. Like, because he
Pat Bev's
made it
going
known.
for 20.
He's made it known, 20 and 10. 20 and 10. Go get the triple-double out here. But he just made it known what he's focused on. You know what I mean? One is definitely the playoffs, and two is beating all his old teams that he has played for, man. So he's been great. He really has.
You said something that I really liked there, and it happened a while ago. I could have let it slide.
Sure.
But I need to bring it back up. Sure. Slight competence.
Yes.
That is the motto
man. Of
this team.
Yes.
Slight competence.
Just gave him a slight little sliver of it, and it enhanced you.
Sliver of competence.
Just a sliver of it, and it enhanced you. And it made you a better basketball team, man. It just shows you what that team's been mean. We've been crying about, well, especially me, been crying about basketball IQ and how low it's been on this team.
Basketball IQ is my favorite trait.
Yeah, man. You got to have it. It's so necessary. And they struggle
above
with
point guardsmanship?
Above point guardsmanship.
Yeah. You need to have basketball IQ in order to play with point guardsmanship.
See, he's learned. I appreciate you studying.
It's like a chicken or the
Square-
egg
it's
scenario.
It's like a square rectangle.
rectangle.
I appreciate him studying.
Square
So I said
triangle.
triangle.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
was
what I
that was
rectangle.
All
Appreciate him.
rectangles are
It's been a
squares,
long
but not
night.
all squares are rectangles.
That's a bar.
Factual.
All players
21.
with point guardsmanship have basketball IQ.
But not all players.
with
Have point
IQ
guards
are
and
point
IQ.
guards. So
Point guardsmanship. This is correct.
Shout out to Michael
Look what
in the
I've done.
comments who has a super chat saying, I don't know how y'all Bulls fans do this daily. Most of that game, LaVine had the do I seriously have to put up a 40-point game against the Rockets face. Yeah.
No, I didn't see that face. I saw him talking plenty shit when he was on there dunking on that team. I didn't see
I
that.
get to put up
I gotta
40
score
against the
40,
Rockets.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like Zach LaVine, yeah, you get to put up 40.
I don't have to
'cause
pass
you that
tonight.
good.
40 points.
40
Here
points.
I come.
40 burger.
this is another good one that just came in from AK.
Sure.
Assuming Bulls make it into the playoffs, are the Bulls better structured with their half-court sets and defense over some teams ahead of them? Basically, are they better built for the playoffs?
No.
There you have
Quick
it.
answer. No. Appreciate the super chat, AK. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I got to think on that one. That's interesting. Are they better built for the playoffs?
No. You know what wins playoff series? Hot shooting.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
There it is. And we saw that's why they
That's a
lost
good
last time.
That's a good point.
Did not have it.
I do agree with that to a certain extent. I mean, I think the reason why Arturis thought that this group would work, and I think the reason why it did work at times, was because you had the ability to get out and play fast with Lonzo. You had shooting, in theory with Vooch. I think he's kind of been up and down, but like he was a 40% 3-point shooter on 6 attempts per game. That is a very good shooter, especially out of the center spot. And then you bring in Lonzo and Zach, and maybe you get Patrick to develop a little bit as a 3-point shooter. Like in theory, there's enough spacing there. And then you have in possessions that really break down somebody that can automatically go get you a bucket. And I think that's kind of the recipe that Arturis was looking for. I think that is something that you need in the playoffs. And Billy said this earlier in the year. One of the reasons why we've done better against some of the good teams is because they play slow.
Yeah.
They play methodical. True. And why we've done worse against some of the younger, faster, more athletic teams is because they're getting up and down. Yeah. And it's harder for us to play defense in transition than it is for us to play defense in the half court. I'm not sure I buy where they are offensively. I mean, I know I don't. They're the 24th offense in the league. But I also don't know if just because they've played well defensively against some of these better teams during the regular season that it would necessarily translate. I do think they look a lot better with Patrick Beverley. We talked about it before, just the way that they have now 2 competent, slightly competent, sliver of competence players on defense in that half court. That really makes a world of difference. So I do think that they could be well equipped. And that's kind of why I said, if you're in the play-in, who are you really scared of? I mean, you do have to win 2 games if you're that 10th spot. Sure. You don't get any games at home, and they've really struggled on the road. Mm-hmm. But I think this is their mentality is if we can just get in, we can make some noise.
Yeah, that's all they're thinking about. It's true.
Hit us up. Pete Kano said, great win tonight. Manuel and I are hyped. Let's go Pat Bev with the talking shit. Big Dave, Killer Beanie on this snowy day.
Appreciate that, sir. Appreciate that.
That is a dope Bulls beanie.
They are always going to get one of their super chats up early.
Wait, Joey, are you in that picture?
That they have right there. Oh, you didn't notice? Joey points it out.
I'm just kidding.
He's messing around.
He hasn't pointed it out yet today. So
he hasn't. You're right. He has not pointed it out.
I honestly just noticed it now.
It was your first time?
And then realized that you guys were talking about somebody's picture in the super chats on some previous show, and I didn't look and see what it was.
Look close, Matt.
Oh, I see. You're in the background.
Not the background. I'm in the pic.
That's the background.
Yeah, that's clearly you photobombing some innocent people.
Okay, that was not a photo bomb.
Would you say that Pete is the leader of the Joeys?
Heat, the leader of the Joeys.
Yeah, who is the leader of the crew, Joe? Who's the leader?
I don't want to offend anyone.
That's not how.
I mean, only one of them has you in their picture.
This is true. Man.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I can give that distinction to Pete. Honestly,
let's see it in the comments. Who's the leader of the Joeys?
Yes,
put your name in the ring.
Step up.
Put your name in the ring.
Honestly, Colin,
we'll pick a winner.
Colin and
is it a democracy among the Joey Nation though?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to anoint a leader
themselves as to who
Joey photo
Joey
bombs.
Nation is.
That's true.
I also like to think I'm the leader of the Joeys. You know,
can't be the leader. No.
No,
like Beyonce is not the leader of the Beehive.
You're like the deity figurehead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like Beyonce is not the leader of the Beehive.
If you were the leader, it would be a cult.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
It would be a cult.
AK said, I see Joey's glad to have his mic back.
This is I don't want to talk about this anymore. This isn't what you guys are here to talk about.
Okay. Well, then we'll take our second break. We'll come back. I still want to talk about the Bulls bench tonight.
Yeah, let's talk about
then we'll
the
wrap
Bulls.
things up with some goonage because it is a victory night here on Saturday.
Show it. Look at it.
Feel it.
Yes.
Big Dave, who else is sponsoring our post-game action tonight?
Joey's. What time is it?
Game time. Who? That was for all of us out there.
I kind of wanted him to just say game time a bunch of times, pretending to be a bunch of different jokes.
Game time. Game time. Game time. Game time. Game time. Game time.
Game time. Game time. Game time. Who?
Hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier never to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. We are talking about Game Time. Ever dream of sitting in that seat you thought never could for the yard line. Of course, having on play for this concert. It's all possible with the Game Time app. Biggest last minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought that you could never ever buy because you won't find better deals this season to see the Chicago Bulls.
You were a treasure.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And just like here at CHGO, it's created by the fans and for the fans, and it guarantees you, your pretty self out there, the lowest price available. So if you love CHGO,
And we know that you do.
then you'll love Game Time. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in that description. So join the over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all your favorite events. Because, man, Pat, what time is it?
Game time hoop.
That's how it's done. You see that? Soon the ball went up, damn.
Yeah, that wasn't my fault. You asked all the Joeys.
Up, damn. You know what I mean? I didn't say it was your fault, sir. I didn't
You're right.
blame you.
You're
I
right.
did not say that. I just said that's how he do it. You know, boom, boom. I like the
boom.
Game Time. That was you up in the air like this. Hanging up there. And then the hoop. Right there, sir. But Matt, power. Ugh. Game Time hoop. I like that.
Let's just do it the way it's done. You know what else makes it sound boom boom?
What's this?
Saving time and money with ComEd. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program committed to helping families and businesses alike in the communities they serve manage energy usage and lower those energy bills now and into the future. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across their territory. Customers can inquire about a whole bunch of different things: how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights, learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device, and track your facility's energy usage and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor, outdoor lighting, and networked lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. So you want to save time and money? Both of those things? Here's what you do. Visit ComEd.com/poweringbiz. That's B-I-Z. To start saving money and energy. To start a project, contact them at 1-855-433-2700. That's 1-855-433-2700 for more information. Email businessee@comed.com or publicsectoree@comed.com.
Can I ask you guys a quick question, totally unrelated?
Sure.
At what point in your career, after how many years or games after you've played in a certain place, does it stop being a revenge game and it starts just being like a normal game? Like Patrick Beverley, there was just a quote that I was looking at. You know, he's playing in front of a lot of friends and family still in Houston.
Yeah.
Sure.
But he hasn't played in Houston since like 2017.
Yeah.
We've talked about it with Wendell. Like he's got all these revenge games against the Bulls. Like he's done it now for 3 years.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
been kicking their ass up and down.
Yeah.
Just curious what you guys thought about that.
I
I don't think
am,
there's anything wrong with it, by the way.
Definitely
No.
depends on context.
I grew up with Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Who didn't matter what year. Or
Made
what time.
up a story about LeBradford Smith,
Yeah.
an unknown rookie who nobody cared about, to give himself an edge the next time he played him.
You know what I mean? That's what I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I understand it. I don't think it ever dies if you don't want it to. It always can mean something to you. I mean, some guys, you know, once they get theirs, you know, they move on, you know, and they say, all right, you know, well, yeah, I got mine that first one. You know, maybe like fans, how they treat Ben Simmons or some Philly fans, I'm saying. Maybe it's like that. But I haven't seen Ben Simmons have that game, you know what I'm saying, against Philly or nothing like that. But, yeah, man, that's who I grew up with, dude, was an insane person who took everything personally, and it was glorious.
I get it. Just curious.
Also, you know, my answer would probably be, hey, if that gives Pat some sort of extra juice, if it makes him happy to look at any revenge as a revenge game, do it.
Yeah.
I'm petty. I hold grudges.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
bitter about a lot
Petty
of
peck.
shit.
This is fact.
If I were
Petty,
a player, I would probably be a Pat Bev kind of player when it comes to revenge games.
Shout out, Salim. I see you, sir. Got your ball hoodie on.
Salim!
Yeah.
Wait, there's a new one? There's a
you ain't seen
limited
it?
edition?
You seen me with the red one, man. It was limited edition last year during Black History Month.
I didn't know it was limited edition.
Oh, yeah, I said it last year, bro. But you're right. I didn't say it this year. You're right.
Well,
It's
I
not your
didn't-
fault. Not your fault.
I didn't even know you at that point last year.
You know, no. It was out because remember you saw me in it?
I saw you in it, but Black History Month last year during February, we did not know each other.
No, we were doing shows, weren't we?
Not in February.
No, you're
Not in
right.
February.
You're right. We weren't doing shows then. You're absolutely right, Joey.
That is my
Yeah, no
excuse.
idea. That is
Otherwise,
absolutely true.
I would
sir.
have gone with the limited edition one.
You would have went with the red one, the red,
Maybe.
black, and
I
green.
got to get another one. Mine's
Yeah, fading a little bit.
A little bit,
so.
but any excuse of sport.
That's cool. There's only one of y'all up here who don't have a ball hoodie. I'm just want to point that out.
I got to get one.
Just pointing that out right quick. You know what I'm saying?
Stanislavico had a super chat while we were taking our ad break saying, I loved that the two players most excited to celebrate with Pat Bev in that late timeout were Kobe and Ayo. What a great mentor for those two.
I didn't see that part. I was too busy up yelling and being quiet.
He was tough, and they were jawing with him.
We had to be silent because in Studio A, the Blackhawks were recording.
Hawks guys were doing post game.
We got a little note.
Yeah.
We need to be better about that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Had to restrain ourselves.
Dave was trying to be quiet because he was excited and happy and wanted to yell. And we had to try to be quiet because we were cranky and annoyed and wanted to yell.
It's a little different during the games. It's a little acceptable to make some noise. It's more so when it's a live show on a 1 p.m. on a Monday, and there's just
that's when that message came out, and
it's here. Because I was here when that happened. It was just a lot people just talking in a very loud nature, and it's sometimes we play it pretty loose here. But I'm like, hey. We got a show going on over here. They can barely hear each other. We're sitting, so playing a little fast and loose. Different when, Bulls games going on, reactions, fair. It's fair game.
It's a tight, exciting game.
Tight.
People who were, still committed to the Bulls winning were probably all kinds of jacked up.
Yay. Mountain Dew.
But speaking of Pat Bev being a new mentor / leader for the young guys like Kobe and Ayo on this team, let's quickly touch on the fact that the Bulls trio of Pat, Kobe, and Ayo had one of the poopiest combined games / efforts I've ever seen
He
tonight.
said poopy in a while. I missed that word.
The technical term.
Yes.
So we've been talking recently. We were chatting with our pal Rob Schaefer about it in postgame Wednesday about how, Pat's shown us some things recently. He had a strong game in that win over Denver.
Yeah.
Tonight, back to one of the bottoms of the roller coaster of Patrick Williams' season. Guess how many rebounds he had tonight, guys? Don't look.
I'm not. 1?
Correct, Will.
0?
Goose egg.
Goosed him.
0 rebounds. 3 points. He did have 3 blocks, and one of those blocks was nasty as hell. Used that length. It was impressive. But, you got...
He played center for a short time.
You got 6 points combined from Pat, Kobe, and Ayo tonight. That is rough. Kobe's also still in this shooting slump. I think I saw Laura Liu, one of our regulars, talking about how Kobe's, just not making anything. He was 0 of 2 from downtown tonight. Only took 3 shots, 0 of 3 overall.
Yeah.
Any one of these 3 young guys who had a rough game tonight that you are maybe more concerned about than the other 2 at this point?
I probably am more concerned. I think concerned is strong, but I'm more worried a little bit about Kobe than anybody because he's the shooter. He's the one that's supposed to do that. That's what your job is, going to hold. That's your job. That's what I know him for is shooting. So seeing him in that slump, it's a little, it makes me look at it a little differently. Like, oh man, like I've raved about, him not having those good games, but still being able to contribute to the team defensively. Mm-hmm. But now you're at a point in the season where I'm going to need them buckets. You know what I'm saying? Along with that great defense and stuff you're playing. And again, I thought he did the same thing tonight. Like he still was making the right decision and doing those things. But those shots were wide open. You know what I mean? For him. And keeping that floor spread, he's got to knock those down. Ayo is a guy, I'm just glad he takes them. To keep that rhythm going of the offense. If they're open, they're available to you, take them. I actually like the 2 that he took because he didn't think about any of it. He didn't have to set up. He didn't have to square up. As soon as it hit his hands, he was shooting that basketball. And he hit one of them, which is great. And Patrick Williams, again, he's a good 3-point shooter. I don't really concern myself with him, even though he went 1 for 3? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, yeah, I don't really concern myself with him. But Kobe is more glaring to me because that's what he's supposed to be in for. The defense is the bonus. You know what I'm saying? That's your dessert. But the meal is supposed to be his offense.
I like that take. I think I'm less concerned about that because I know for a fact that he can be a 38% 3-point shooter. He did it last year.
Right.
I think his shooting is a little bit overrated. Like his career 36%. That's like not that great. Right. He looks like he can really shoot it.
Sure.
Ayo kind of gave you what I expect out of Ayo, which was like good defense and an occasional 3. Mm-hmm. And Patrick, you just didn't really see anything from him. the defense was good, and I've been really happy with that. But like coming off an 18-point game, you want to obviously there's going to be ups and downs. Progress is not linear, but you don't want the bottom to fall out.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what happened tonight. It was one of those games though where it didn't feel like he had a lot of opportunity. So maybe that was part of it, but 0 rebounds, like he was in there playing center for a little bit. They went small. I wouldn't say any of them really concerned me, but that's kind of my just general analysis of how they played.
But even though the rebounds, what makes it more glaring is you're looking at Patrick Beverley getting 10 and Zach LaVine getting 8. You know what I mean? And DeMar getting 7. Like, you're looking at guys who I don't look at and go to, but like, you should be getting all the rebounds. They're thoroughly out rebounding you. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, especially Zach and Pat Bev. Like, that for me is more glaring because again, it's an effort thing. And we know if Pat Bev's doing anything, it's that. So if you come away with 0 in 22 minutes playing at a position where you're around the basketball all the time, that's much more glaring. You know what I'm saying? It makes people be like, what the hell, Patrick? What the hell? I
will say this, rebounding his effort in the comments there. I think that's obviously a huge piece of it.
Sure.
But I do think there's also some strategy and positioning alongside as well.
You see Dennis Rodman doing it.
Yeah, you got that. But you also might need to get that clipped and put it on social. But you also, it's like, is somebody being like the box out guy so that somebody else can get the offensive rebound or defensive rebound? Are we getting back in transition and not getting offensive rebounds? Obviously, the Bulls, I think, did a really good job of that tonight with 13 offensive.
I think that's more than their season total combined.
That's crazy.
A lot of that was Patrick Beverley.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he did. How many did he grab? Like 4?
He had 5.
5? Damn.
Wow.
Wow. So not excusing Patrick for having 0 rebounds, but I think sort of the role and positioning of where you play on defense and the fact that the Bulls just don't really offensive rebound. Obviously, today was an outlier. I think that does affect his numbers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we get out of here, it's a Bulls victory night. Big Dave.
You know what it is. Hit me with it, Joey.
Do we have the belt?
There it is. Oh, the GOAT is wearing it.
GOAT's got
I don't
the belt.
have the sound effect because of the
because the
Studio B. So I just, man, I'm glad I called that guy.
You look good with it on.
I did, but it's
it looked right on you,
it's
man.
good in the nighttime.
It looked right on you, man. You could have left it. I could have pointed to it.
Your time is now.
All right, shout out John Cena. But yes, Goon of the night is
Allow me the pleasure of
giving it out
introducing
right
you
here,
to
man. Y'all know what it is.
Blade.
We reward the Goon.
Laser.
Stop it.
Blazer.
Cut it out. Joey Svathis, ladies and gentlemen. Human, awesome person.
And Michelle.
Matt Peck, also human and awesome person.
Wow.
Goon of the night, sir. What you got? Can you muster it up to get yourself a Goon of the night?
You know what, though? I'm going to be honest. I was going to get sick, twisted pleasure out of watching the Bulls lose to the Rockets again, and that didn't happen.
It did not.
So I don't feel like I did. I have to give Goon to anybody in a Bulls jersey tonight because I'm salty about this win.
Okay.
Because that's where I am right now.
All right.
I'm going to give some Goon love to Alperen Şengün, who is the weirdest basketball player I have seen in quite some time. That dude flails. It's not like flopping. Mm-hmm. He's just the least graceful basketball player I've seen who is also somehow efficient and effective sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know, his grace level is like roughly equivalent to like a hippo falling off a cliff. But he's a basketball player. That one spin move where he like tried to do a spin move but fell backwards and tripped. And I don't know what that dude is. But I laughed several different times watching him play basketball tonight.
Such a good player in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But it is a long ways away.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has like these instincts that are both so impressive, but also like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
dog?
Exactly.
It's just a hilarious
Tell him,
combination.
Will. Tell him.
It's a hilarious combination.
My fantasy team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Team Joey's.
Team Joey's. All right.
Remember, Will wanted him.
I still want him.
We'll talk after the show.
We'll talk.
Well, in the meantime, then, give me your Goon tonight, then, Goat.
I think it's Patrick Beverley.
Okay.
He had a charge, 5 offensive rebounds, 4 threes. Like he just felt like the spark that got the Bulls back in position here. And then we know, like we talked about the lineup data. We know how good that 4-person combination with Caruso and the big 3 has been. When you lump Pat Bev in there too, they just apparently become the 2016 Warriors. So good on him.
Oh, Joey, good night for you, sir.
Yeah, Patrick Beverly, 4
You want
threes.
Pat?
Four
Okay.
threes, that's
All right.
it.
All right. Well, goon of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Bit of a different drum roll.
Like
Andre Drummond
Oh,
gets this goon of the night. I know Pat Bev did his thing. I'm not taking that from him at all. He was amazing. He was awesome. But Andre Drummond was out there gooning and doing Andre Drummond stuff. That play with, first of all, when he gets the ball and he takes it coast to coast and finishes on you. That man had a sequence, Will, that we were like, that's an Andre Drummond sequence where it didn't even involve him on the offense. The Rockets had the ball, and he was just sitting, and the stuff that was going on just felt real Andre Drummond-ish. And then they came down the other end, and they go up, they miss, they come back down to the Rockets, they go up. What does that happen? The ball goes up, he gets the rebound right there in his face, hits it off his hands, stays right there with the Rockets. Goon stuff was happening. It was an
that
Andre
goon
Drummond
stuff?
kind of game, man.
Jekyll and Hyde, man.
Oh yes, the Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay.
Sir.
All right.
But
Yeah,
dude,
no, I can see it.
when he made that coast to coast one, that's when the mind was made up for me right there.
I did think about that.
Yeah.
I thought about that specific play.
That one
but it
right
canceled out with me with the other one. So I had to go Pat Bev. But I do
That's the full
I do like it.
experience.
It
It's
is the full experience.
Drummond experience. It was on display, man. Shout out to Andre Drummond tonight. And then for going to the locker room and coming back, I want there to be a story behind that. I really do. I want him to say, I forgot to take my nose ring out and I had to go to the locker room and do that stuff. I want a whole story with that, man. But Andre Drummond, sir, for me, you get goon of the night.
I mean, that coast to coast was ridiculous.
Yes, it was.
But I found myself more often rolling my eyes at Drummond tonight than applauding Drummond tonight. I think I am joining our pal Mark K on the I am done with the Drummond experience this season.
All right.
And
well,
forever.
Still going to go.
Just dumb.
More games left, Matt. Car doors right there. Let me know.
Speaking of Mark K, as we wrap up here, gentlemen, he will land in Chicago on Monday. On Monday. Mark K, the whole CHGO Bulls fan will be together in the flesh for the first time since we started this venture.
First time ever.
Ever. His first visit to the beautiful city of Chicago.
Yes.
So excited to see him. So excited to have him here with us in Chicago,
Absolutely.
hang out with them, do some shows with them.
That should be cool.
Also on Monday, knock on wood, as of right now, scheduled, Io Argaio in studio. Wow.
He's limited in options in the studio.
Excited for that.
We could try it again with the Glockenspiel.
I love a good Glockenspiel.
Joey's having too much fun tonight. Cut him off. Somebody's
the
got to
hat,
cut him
man.
off.
Also, shout out to our guy, Flipside, who threw us a last-second super chat saying go Bulls and bear down Chicago Bears. Hashtag thanks, Lovey.
Go Bears!
So yesterday was just such a joyous day.
Wasn't it?
In Bears Nation.
Wasn't it?
Shout out to everybody who tuned in and watched the emergency pod from our CHGO Bears crew.
I was watching.
There were like 4,000 or 5,000 people watching that, and it
I
was
was
just
one of them.
all love. Bears fans are happy, excited. I am officially thrilled with the package they got.
Yes.
To trade out of that number one spot.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what they do in the draft.
Cannot wait.
So
Oh,
freaking excited.
So happy, man. So happy for just Chicago. Thank you, Lovey Smith. Shout out to you, sir, forever.
What-
Get the
Legend.
statue up.
One more super chat, Manuel. IDC Rios. Yay. Hi, guys. So hype. We back.
You back.
We back.
You back in.
You're the man, Manuel.
Manuel.
Shout out to you and your bro. All right, that's it. Bulls off tomorrow, as are we. Monday, we'll be back. Hopefully with Io DeSumo in studio.
That'd be awesome.
Mark K having arrived in Chicago. And then we got Kings on deck Wednesday, gentlemen.
It's calm?
Kongs, but like actual scary Kongs.
Oh, yeah, they've been very scary.
Like very hard
That's
to
so
beat.
far from now.
Yeah.
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 This
That's
is-
a vicious team.
little 3-day gap here between games.
Yeah. It's a vicious team right there, man.
We will
Vicious squad.
be back then. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're going out celebrating St. Patty's stuff, have fun, be safe,
Yes.
be respectful of one another, and we'll talk to y'all on Monday. Follow Will on Twitter, Will_Gottlieb. Big Dave is at BAWL Sports. Joey
Face.
at Joey Spathis. We are CHGO_Bulls. I am at Bulls_Peck.
That's it.
For our crew here, CHGO Bulls. Appreciate you. Love you, Bulls Nation. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the thumbs. We'll talk to you Monday. See you, Red. Be good.
Peace. 2 in a row.